Hello everyone again, and welcome to this fourth episode of our presentation series of DIAMBRA, our dueling AI arena. So again, welcome everyone. I'm really happy to be being with you today. So it's the fourth episode, and the first three, as you remember, we presented the platform itself in general, so basically the motivations behind DIAMBRA, and then we started from the very first episode to present games we interfaced in our dueling arena to let RL algorithm play one against the other. So in the very first episode last week, the first game presented was Dead or Alive. Then in the second one, we presented Street Fighter 3. And finally, 2 days ago, on Tuesday this week, we presented the third one, that is Tekken Tag Tournament. Hello Erchimao, hello the Rockerman, you are my really aficionados here. I'm really happy to have you again online. It's always a pleasure. As always, please guys, if you have questions, don't hesitate to share them with us through the chat, and don't worry. Oh, hello Curaro again, another aficionado. Great to have you here. Hope you are doing all good. And so what's the plan for today? Today we are gonna see the final and fourth game interfaced. It will complete our series that you can see and you can find in the website. So today we are gonna see the first one. And as I already said, for now, we will start working on these games. Of course, our plans are to implement additional games, more fighting games maybe, but also other types of games. In this regard, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to share them with us through the website, through the dedicated forms. As you can see, you can find them here. We already went through all our game modes. You can find all these details in our lives that are shared in our YouTube channel. You can find it in our website. Again, it's the main reference for every platform we are in. Now, plan for today, as I said, we will reveal the fourth game pretty soon. Then I would like to share with you and to show you a few additional modes that so far we haven't seen yet. For example, I will show you how the AIvsAI mode will work. I will show you it applied on the first game, so Dead or Alive. We are gonna see, or maybe this one we are gonna use it maybe on Tekken. We will see. We can change this later. And then I will also show you how the mode AIvsHUM will work. Okay, today we are gonna only use random agents, both in the AIvsAI mode as well as in the AIvsHUM mode. Only random agents. Why? Because the great part comes next week. Next week, on Tuesday, I'm gonna show you my trained agent in Dead or Alive. And then on Thursday, the other trained agent in Street Fighter. So that next week, in that moment, it will be a key moment for me. Hopefully, my agent will perform decently well. Hopefully, I'm really willing to share it with you, because it will be fun to see it playing against the computer and let's say supporting it and let's say evaluating how well it will do, and also how far it will go in playing against the computer. So Hopefully it will go far in the game. We will see. I will also in that occasion share with you how the training method worked, a few graphics of about a few plots and charts about how the training went, how long it has been, and also with which particular algorithm I used to train that agent. So a lot of interesting stuff, specifically related with reinforcement learning techniques. Now, these 4 games, as I already told you, are similar but not exactly the very same thing. In fact, if you were, let's say, a little bit surprised by how dumb was the random agent in previous games, today it is gonna be worse. Yes, because in today's game you will see the random agent will be really dumb, even worse than those that we already saw. And why? Well, because this depends on how the game is built. In particular, you saw in the other live or mainly that even performing random moves, you are able to beat your opponent sometimes, because maybe characters are big enough, they are big with respect to the screen and with respect to the stage, so it is easier to hit the opponent even with the random moves. And also character moves are more, let's say, dynamic, and so they as they are eating or trying to eat the opponent, they move in the stage so that they are able to reach the opponent even if it is a little bit far away. In some games this is not the case, and so it is basically impossible to move to the second stage, for example. And today we were gonna see it a little bit on the game. Then as usual, so I will run a random agent on the game, and then I will also try myself to be not as bad as the random agent today. Maybe I can do a little bit better than what I performed on previous episodes. We will see. It is also fun to watch me doing so bad in this game. So for now, and at the end, this is the reason why I found easier to train an RL algorithm with respect to train myself. That's it. The Rockerman is asking if I had some practice in Tekken. Actually not, and because I was pretty good. No, I was pretty bad, I know, but yeah, I leave it for the audience to challenge my trained agent maybe, so that I can let the PC play for me. That is way better, I believe. And but again, I mean, it is also useful to have a reference, a good reference, not my own reference, a good reference to understand how well the RL agent is doing compared to a human player. But we are working on it. Actually, few people are training themselves on these games to compare, to let us compare them with the RL algorithm. So yes, today we can go strictly to the reveal of the game, since we have been discussing quite a lot of things in previous episodes. So again, it may be useful to remember the window layout. I will do it later. For now, let me just go to the place where we have to reveal our game. It should be already ready. Let me just check it. Okay, now yes, we are ready. I have to activate the virtual environment. And that's it. Now, okay, we are ready to take a look at the new game, the final one. As usual, I will run the emulator, so I will be playing through the keyboard for now, and let's go. Okay, so ready to see the game, and you should already discovered which one is it. It's kind of famous, and basically it's the very famous Mortal Kombat. Actually, it's Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So these are all the characters available. Now I will use Sector because I like this kind of robots, and I will be using it in random agent play and also my own human play. Now, as you can see here, with respect to the other games, it's a pure two-dimensional game, and as you can see, characters are small compared to the other games, and also with respect to the stage. So now I'm just moving around the screen. Don't judge me, but okay. So now this game is in some sense pretty famous. There are kind of strange moves. Now the point here is, as you will see, the dumb random agent will be so bad because it will try, you see here, to catch the opponent is pretty hard, just moving around and trying to hit him in this way. But we will see how well it will be performed. Now, a few things about this game in terms of let's say health is pretty standard, meaning that it is nothing special. I mean, it's not like Tekken, that you have two different characters recharging health and this kind of stuff. It's pretty standard in this regard. So two standard rounds, and the health, as you already saw in previous episodes, is pretty standard, so nothing special. A quick reminder about how the window layout will be. So on the left side we will have our graphics presenting what is happening in the environment. On the right we will have the game going on the upper part, and on the bottom part we will have our actions rolling in the screen. So nothing special with respect to previous games. So pretty standard. Now let's move to the screen where we can evaluate our random agent. First of all, let me just tell you, in this case we have 6 different buttons available. This is like Street Fighter, the game with the highest number of different buttons for attack. Actually, there are 2 punches, 2 kicks, and then there is the run button and the block button. So there are 6 buttons. No buttons combination needed. So there are just 6 attack buttons and 8 moves buttons, plus the no action option, and that's it for this game. Now let's move to the live events. So AIvsHUM, let me see, let's use only 5 episodes because, as you will see, it will be pretty boring. Yes, of course, because the agent will be so bad. Now let's try it. So I'm running it. Okay, the game starts again. This one has I believe 5 or 6 different difficulty levels. So we are gonna play at the level 4, I think. So again, let's just wait until the game is ready. Here we are setting up the 4th difficulty level. Then the game is starting up, and we will be using sector. Sector, red robot. It's kind of nice. It uses missiles, both the standard straight missiles as well as the homing one, so the one with that is guided. Then it is able to perform teleport. These are standard, let's say, combos. Of course, the algorithm, in particular the random algorithm, but in general the RL is not aware of this combo. It may find them maybe. Now you see, okay, now it's the random agent is performing. You see here its moves, and it's pretty dumb. Yes, I know. In fact, it will hardly hit the opponents just a few times, but in general it will lose by a lot. Okay, so first round is minus 1.52, and as you remember, the maximum, the lowest possible cumulative reward for a round is minus 2. So for 2 rounds is minus 4, and in this case we will see it will lose pretty soon as usual. And so yes, we are almost there. Yes. Okay, total cumulative reward is minus 3.33. Pretty bad, I know. And so this means that in order to train a random algorithm in this game, it will be hard. This may be the game in which we will need to leverage human experience, meaning that we should provide the RL algorithm with human examples, human trajectories, what we call trajectories. So basically human provided examples in such a way that he will be able to emulate and imitate this kind of behavior. Because you see, just performing random action, it is not collecting positive rewards. So basically there is nothing, the learning signal, the so-called learning signal is not there. You see, he suffered a perfect now, so it's minus 2 cumulative reward for the first round, and so it is gonna lose pretty badly also in this case. And that's it. The random agent is pretty dumped. So this again will be a baseline to be compared with RL performances. It will be hard, but I'm sure that we are gonna figure this out. So figure out how to tackle also this environment here. As I told you, next week I'm gonna present 2 RL agents in 2 different games, not this one. We have Marco with a question. This is the first game in which characters can hit opponents from far away, throwing object. Could it be an issue for the agent? Nice question. Actually, I believe, to be completely honest, that also in Street Fighter they should be able to hit the character from far away. For example, Ryu is able to perform Hadouken that should hit the opponent from far away. And in general, this is something that the agent should get familiar with and should react to this kind of attacks, maybe using the block action in this case. And so yes, this can be an important point for this aspect in particular. Yes, Mao is saying that the random agent is pretty bad. I totally agree with you, and it can be really it can be a problem for training. I know it's pretty bad. It can be a problem for training, because if it is not gathering positive rewards, it is hardly learning something, because it has no let's say knowledge of what it has to do. Now of course also negative rewards are useful because they say they say, agent, you're doing bad in this case. So it is able to understand when it is performing a bad action and try to lower the probability of taking that action. So we are already at episode 4. So we need just this one and the next one to have a complete evaluation of our agent bad performance, of course. So, and as you can see, it's not a matter of, let's say, the first stage, it's easy and then it's hard. No, it's right from there, right from the very first stage that is performing pretty poorly. So let's wait again. This is gonna be more or less a perfect suffered. Yes, another perfect suffered. And so, yeah, I can play better than the random agent. As you can notice, it's not so difficult. But let's see, because again, I'm not an expert of this game too. So I will try to do my best in the next round, and we will see. Let's wait until this 4th episode ends. Okay, so again, an episode. This one was minus 3.69. So again, a really bad episodes for our agent. So finally, the last 5th episode, we will see. But as you can already understand, we are around minus 3.4, minus 3.5, more or less. And so that's our reward, cumulative reward for this random agent. Now, of course, few things. Random agent is performing random actions. The trained model instead will be choosing actions depending on the game state, so on the frame and on health, on positions, and so on and so forth. Well, this requires running the RL algorithm in real time. That is quite a huge requirement, because in order to have a flawless, let's say a smooth execution of the game, the algorithm should be fast enough to being played in real time. It will be implemented. It is implemented. It will be run on CUDA, so on GPU. And then it will be interfaced with this environment. So last episode was worth minus 2.87, and we are done. Yes, Curaro is nothing that in the very last round, the agent was able to perform a combo, even only by chance, and this is the way in which random algorithms work, because sometimes they perform good moves. In that case, they are rewarded positively, maybe, and so they learn that move was good and they will try to repeat that. So we have a final result. We have an average cumulative reward of minus 3.42. As I said, around 3.4. Yes, this is the reference value for our random agent. Now, let's move to human versus com mode. Let me see how many episodes I am going to play. Is 5. I hope I will be able to move to the next stage, to the second stage, but I cannot promise that, as you will see. Let's start. Okay. I will be using sector. I must say I tried it a little bit, but not too much. So don't be too hard on me. I'm not so good, I know. Not a problem. So let's see. Okay, let's wait until the game boots up. Now it will let me choose the agent, because I prescribed it in settings. I can also make the system select my characters automatically, but that's fine for me now. So I will be using sector. Let me up. Okay, let's see. This is the window layout we need. Okay, so let's see how bad I am. Okay. Hey, wait. Not so good. Now, this one is risky, but oh, come on. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. I have to warm up a little bit. I love missiles, but in this case they are not paying off. That's not a problem. Okay, this one is gone. Minus 3.05. Not good. Let's see if I'm able to improve this performance. Sector. So, as you can see, I cannot be the one providing experience to the agent. That's pretty clear to me. I know. Okay, this move is like a roulette, a Russian roulette, you know. Oh, this. Boom. No. I like the homing missile, but they're too slow moves. Come on. Oh. Almost there. Minus 1.54. Okay. No, thank you, Rockerman, for the question. How do you choose the character to train for each game? It is a random, there is a logic behind. Actually, now I trained Kazumi for the other live. I'm training Ryu for Street Fighter. I would like to train Sector on this one. Actually, I just selected those characters that to me are more representative of the game. Because because I like them. Kazumi for me is the character that is more representative for the other live, and so I selected Kazumi for this reason, just because of that. No specific logic. Yes, actually, these algorithms, you're right, Mao. We have to improve them. In particular, myself, I have to improve. I know. Oh. No. Done. Hello, Domzik. Great. Detective Mills. Yes, hello. Glad to have you here. Rockerman is asking, do you think train a character with no human form could be more difficult for the argument? Nice question, nice. I don't think so. I mean, standard shapes, standard silhouettes and layouts are obviously more transferable one between the other, I mean between different algorithms maybe, but in general, if you train your algorithm with the different form, that's not a problem for the algorithm itself, so that's okay. So it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, come on, I'm gonna kill you now, die. No. Yes. Oh, one round got. Great. Let me see. No. Okay. So I'm not sure if I was clear enough, Rockerman, about your question. In case, if that's the case, please let me know. Ole! So, okay, thank you, Rockerman. So I moved to the second stage. Yeah, okay. Now this is gonna last not so long, I know. Sub-Zero, one of the typical characters of this game. Ah, come on. No, almost there. Come on. No, this move is not paying off. Oh, too bad. So minus 2.45. Nah, not so good. Let's see. Last episode for me. Last episode for me. No. Okay. We're almost there, guys. I know I'm bad. That's not a problem now. Okay. Minus 1.78. So let's see the complete set of rewards, cumulative rewards I got. And let's see. So what's my, let's say, reference performance to be compared with the RL agent. We are done. It is gonna stop pretty soon. Yes, good question by the Rockerman. Compared with other games, how long do you expect it will take to train the agent in this game? So first of all, let me conclude this first. So minus 2.07. So I'm definitely more performant than the random agent. As I said at the beginning, it doesn't, take so much to be better than that one, and that's fine. So now, answering your question, Rockerman, I believe that I'm not sure it will be able to learn in a reasonable time from random agent. So I'm sensing that it can be probable that we will need to use human experience to train the game on this, to train the agent on this specific game. I'm sensing this is gonna be it. Not sure, but I will keep you posted. But another interesting aspect will be, I would love to see how participant of the DIAMBRA tournament will tackle this problem, because, you know, as I already told you, this entire arena is of course a great environment where to compare performances of different RL agents, different algorithm techniques, solutions, and so it's the perfect playground to make different algorithms compete one against the other. And so in order to do so, the mode we will be using will be, of course, AI versus AI. That's a standard way to compare these algorithms, making them challenge themselves in 1 versus 1. Naturally, we will also use AIvsHUM mode, comparing the cumulative reward of both of all solutions we are gonna measure. Curaro is asking, can the network be trained using your inputs instead the random inputs? Of course. In fact, this is something I will share with you in the next episodes. One mode, I can share it with you right here. As you can see, there is one mode is called recording. This mode is the one in which I will be recording my plays, and basically, so I will be saving frames from the game, RAM values for the game state, and also my inputs. In that way, I will be able to provide those set of states and actions with also rewards gathered from the environment to my agent. I will be using this set, states, rewards, and actions selected by me to the agent. In that way, the agent will be able to use those information, that information to train himself. This just to complete this idea, you see here, this will be, yes, exactly. Corrado is saying this is like the dolly ship, you are going to create clones. Exactly, this is exactly the case. As you can see, there is a dedicated badge on screen, this one that is saying imitation learning. So basically this will be the mode in which we are gonna train our algorithm using human experience, using human provided examples of a good behavior. So this of course is composed by a first stage in which you record your good plays, and the second stage in which you train the algorithm on those recorded examples. This is a typical technique to speed up training. Of course, it requires more resources, like examples provided, so you have to collect them. It's more time consuming for humans because it's not creating things from scratch, from random behavior. It is creating things and from a specific examples, and so you do have to provide them, and this requires time, this requires space on your hard drive, this requires money in general. Okay, so now moving to, I want to share with you the AIvsAI mode, because this will be one of typical way to compare agents, one and versus the other. So we are gonna see this one in Tekken. Okay, so now we are gonna use in Tekken, we are gonna use both sides, P1 and P2, so left and right, will be random agents, both random agents. On left we are gonna use Jin and Yoshimitsu, as we did in the dedicated event for random agent run in Tekken. On the right, as you can read here, we are gonna use random players. Okay, so basically a random agent playing with random characters on the right. On the left, a random agent playing with Jin and Yoshimitsu. Let's see, we are gonna play for let's see, 5. Let me say here, hello Emma, great to have you here as usual. You know, don't hesitate to ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer them. So AI versus AI mode. Let's see how two random agents in Tekken behave, one against the other. Let's use it for 8 episodes. Too much, we can always stop it, not a problem. Let's see if it is going to work. As I told you, Tekken is a little bit buggy, so I do have to take care of a few things at startup. Let me see, otherwise I will need to, okay, it should be working. Let's see, apart from this freezed screen. Okay, so as you can see, we are gonna use Jin and Yoshimitsu versus Anna and Panda. Okay, we do have these characters. So first of all, player 1 is selecting Jin and Yoshimitsu as prescribed. Player 2 is gonna use Anna and Panda, that is Kuma with specific character selection, you see. Okay, so let's see how two random agents behave one against the other. Remember, this is going to be the typical setup for the DIAMBRA tournament, when we are gonna use tournament making play agents versus agents. As you can see, the additional info in the window layout is slightly changed, because in this case we have both random players playing on both sides. So we do have two gamepads showing actions performed by random agents. At the same time, we have previous actions in the additional info of both player 1 and player 2. Now health is health of P1 and health of P2, that are both random agents, and that's it. We have no stage information, of course, because every episode in this case is a single stage, single match, 2 rounds, and that's it. So every episode is just maximum 3 rounds. Who arrives to 2 rounds wins, and that's it. Now, okay, we are seeing again, they are clearly random agents. As you can see, they are performing strange moves, meaning that not meaningful moves, because they are sometimes too far to reach the opponent, but still this is a way to make two different agents combat one versus the other. Of course, when we are gonna use provided agents, you will see below algorithm here the name of the algorithm used. I will show my own one next week. Starting Tuesday, I'm gonna show my trained agent on Dead or Alive. Cool things can be, for example, to compare in AI versus HUM mode how an algorithm trained, for example, for 70 million steps performs if compared with an algorithm trained for 35 million steps. If this is something that is relevant or not, how it impacts cumulative reward of your agent. So Again, we are here at episode 1 of 8. Actually, I can just stop it, not a problem at all. But as you can see, more or less, you can understand that random agents in the long run, they are gonna have a 0 reward, cumulative reward, because one time is player 1 that is winning, one time is player 2, so they average out at the end. This is not the case if you have really different characters, let's say good and powerful characters against bad, let's say weak characters. So in that case, it's not the case. You cannot think that at the end you're gonna be an average of 0. Of course, here, as you saw, we finished time, and so that's it. In that case, it is not taken into account, and is something that clearly happens with random agent. This should not be the case with trained agent. So second episode now. And let's see, we have Jin and Yoshimitsu against Gan Ryu and I believe Jack Z, I believe. So yes. And that's it. This is the typical mode to compare two different algorithms. I mean, it's an additional way to compare them with respect to just letting them play against the computer and comparing them at the end the reward. It's a different way to compare them. I know if someone has to train an agent to approach this mode, it has specific things that needs to be taken into account, because, for example, while in some games, when you are competing against the computer, you will not find yourself competing against yourself in the game, meaning the same characters on both sides. This is something that can happen in this mode. So AI versus AI, you may find, for example, Jin competing against Jin, and so this is something that whoever will train his agent needs to take care of, let his agent see examples and matches of the same characters playing on both sides. Yeah, actually, in this case, this should be just, let's say, a coincidence, Kuraro, because right now we are just performing random actions. We are not in the training phase, so basically nothing can be learned in this phase. I'm thinking that it can be interesting to stream examples of the training stage. Yes, you're right. You're right in noticing the pattern. In fact, that's exactly when things happening at random can be more and more probable as the agent learns, because that's the way it works. So using rewards, it basically increases probability of those actions that led to a good reward. That's the way it works. So as I was saying, this is something that needs it can be seen also in during training. Let's say when you observe your agent training, you can start observing it one day, then you can stop watching it, wait for, let's say, 1 week, come back and take a look at how it is playing. That allows you to understand if the agent has developed some kind of tactics. So let's say you start training today, you come back tomorrow and watch your trained agent play. Okay, you may see again still random actions and nothing specific. Then you come back next week and you may start to notice something like every time that the character is down on ground, well, the agent starts trying to hit on the lower part of the screen. These kind of things can be noticed, and they are typical signals that you are learning that behavior is good. Okay, so now we have reached 3 episodes out of 8. Now I believe it's enough for this mode. That is kind of clear, I believe now, and we can move to another mode that I wanted to show you that can be also really interesting, and is something that we still have not seen, and is the AI versus, sorry, not this one, is AI versus human, meaning that another interesting combination will be, for example, me trying to compete against the AI, trained AI, for example. So in that case, instead of comparing our cumulative reward to understand if AI is good with respect to my cumulative reward, human reward, we can directly compete in game and see if we are on the same level or not. Another note by Curaro, maybe another way to train the random agent is AI versus a totally stuck opponent. That's another possibility. In fact, let me see if I have it already. Also here, we do, for example, in this mode, we can choose the agent choice here, you see. So the agent can be a random agent, a specific algorithm for RL, or a no action agent. In that case, the agent can be stuck in that position. So am I saying, you mean similarly to a tutorial? Curaro is suggesting maybe we can use it at the very early stages, just trying to stimulate the agent to learn that a kick is a positive reward if the opponent is hit by it, and this kind of stuff. And of course, it is something that allows you to understand the basic things of the game. So this mode here, as you can see, is AI versus human, and I will use it in the other live. So let's say I will use a random agent on the first as first character, and I will select my own one as a second. Now, note by Rockman, is there a sort of level value for the agent in order to have a fair match between the same level agent? That's nice, a good question, interesting questions. The level of the agent is usually, it can be set if, let's say, the very basic way to set it is like stopping training at a given point. So if you stop training, your agent stops learning. That's a way. Of course, you can add a specific, let's say, parameter to manage this kind of behavior, and so I'm basically setting up a level of proficiency in that specific game. There are a lot of things. For example, you may be limited or constrained in terms of available computing power, both at training stage, so during training, as well as at inference stage, so when you are executing your agent to perform actions. If you limit that power, in some sense you are limiting possibilities and powerful the power of the agent. How powerful is your agent? For example, and this is something that is gonna come back in the next episodes. Now I'm using a GPU with only, let's say, 4 GB of RAM. So in this case, you cannot use an algorithm that requiring more than 4 GB of RAM to play. In this sense, that's a limit. Okay, that's a limit, a cap on your computational power. And so in this sense, your policy, that what is called a policy network, that is, for example, the system that links inputs, so states of the game, and outputs, so actions to take. The policy network is something in between these two things, and is the very point in which you store your knowledge. So if you have a limit in the RAM, you have a limit in how big this policy net can be, and in this sense you cannot create something that is too big and so is limited in performances. In this sense, all these aspects need to be carefully evaluated, and one typical thing that we are gonna use can be, for example, the limit for participant to have something that can run inference on a small system like 4 gigabytes of RAM, and that needs to be usable in real time. This means that inference should be in the range of more or less 20 Hertz, let's say. Okay, so this can in some way create a constraint on the power you can embed in your agent. And Curaro is saying something that is exactly it. He's saying, yes, like categories in box. And this is exactly it, because we can think of setting, let's say, category of 4 gigabytes, category of 8 gigabytes, and so on and so forth. You're right, gigabytes of RAM instead of pounds. And that's the case, exactly it. Of course, the limit in the inference speed is to allow to share with you real-time games. So we need to have something that goes in real time as a random agent. I can say that my own agent so far, from tests I've been performing, is able to play in real time, and we are gonna see it. I must be completely transparent, and I must say that I still have to test it coupled with the real-time environment variables presentation, the graphics that you are now used to see, since that is like an additional load for the CPU. But if that specific aspect will not be performant enough, we are gonna see the agent nevertheless playing the game in real time. I already tested it, and it is working in real time for sure. Okay, so let's see how I can play against a random agent. Curaro. Okay, nice question by Curaro. I'm not sure. He's asking, is there a way to read the input commands of the computer opponent? It may be. I'm not sure, but right now I don't have that specific information. So it is not possible to access that specific info. It may be useful, you're right. So in that case, we would be using strategies as, let's say, similarly to how we can use human experience. We would be able to collect experience, let's say, and use it as an example to the computer, to the REL algorithm. That's a good point. I'm not sure I'm able to access that, and it of course would require quite a lot on the RAM. Yes, you are perfectly right. Let's see how I can play against a random agent. Let's see. So dead or alive. I will be using Kazumi, is the one that I can use decently. Emma is saying that using com moves can be like cheating because you are going to look ahead, and that's right. If used as inputs for our RL agent, that's completely right. If you use them as examples like in imitation learning, in that case it can be fair enough. Purely imitation learning, like someone that instead of asking someone to play, you can let the computer play, and then see if try to use that specific experience on yourself. Now, okay, you see I'm using Kazumi against a random agent. I believe I can beat it, okay, pretty easily. Okay, so pretty easy in this case. As you can see, random agent is performing actions that are pretty readable, so even far away from me I can decide when is the best time to approach the opponent. And so anyway, sometimes it is hard to beat, but not impossible. Oh, come on, really? Done. Yes, exactly, Emma, you're right. It would be a good way, using com moves, to create an example dataset. That's it. That's the usage that would be interesting. I believe it wouldn't be so easy to find out which buttons the computer is let's say using. Because retrieving those RAM values, you do have to have evidence of what happened in the game, and sometimes it's not so simple to understand which moves were performed, or actually which buttons have been played by the computer. For example, you have access to RAM values. In order to find out which random RAM values you have to use, you have to prescribe, for example, for health, when you are hit by your opponent, you have to say to ask for a value in RAM that decreased. And then when you are hit again, you have to ask, okay, give me the RAM values that decreased in this particular frame. So it's something that you work on, like prescribing. The value has to be decreased, the value is the same, the value has increased, this kind of stuff. And so it's hard to do that with moves, with buttons. It's not so easy. So for now, I basically won all rounds. So, you know, it's simple to beat a random agent in some sense, because it's limited. But of course, I believe it won't be the same with the trained RL agent. It will be way harder. Yes. So this is the third episode. And we are more or less there. So I'm superior at this game. Okay, at this game I'm superior than with respect to the random agent pretty easily, as you can see. Now that's a perfect. And okay. Now let's move to the fourth episode. Again, Bass. I will use Tina for this. Not so good, but let's try it. Ah. Oh, Oh, lost one round to the random agent. It was so bad. So this is another mode that can be interesting. In particular, I would like to, let's say, let not professional, but really trained people compete against trained RL agents. That would be really nice and super interesting to understand if the random agent was able to learn enough to beat a good human player. That would be another nice mode. Bam. Okay, and so that's the fourth, and finally yes, am I saying that sometimes with things like cheat engine, you are able to manipulate game RAM, and in this way it can be a possibility to understand which RAM value and so is related to which action, and that's a good point. It can be in some sense investigated, maybe, of course. We will see. I mean, my idea is to, of course, try to, as soon as possible, provide the environment, and we are already working on it, to provide the environment to train agents by people around the world, already enrolled quite a lot. And at the same time, I would also like, apart from streaming tournaments and competitions, I would also like to stream coding sessions, because so this kind of developments can be interesting to be streamed. So we could be able to develop them together, maybe. So all thank you, Parsivori, to join us in following, and I'm glad because it happened in our live, because you're the 50th follower, and that's great. That was our goal, and so thank you very much for joining us. Now, as I was saying, it can be really useful and interesting to share also coding sessions. Okay, so I'm done. I basically beated the random opponent every time, and so you see here I'm minus reward because it's seen from the point of view of the random agent. So it's always minus because I won every single game. Now, the Rockerman is saying, yes, please, I believe to the proposal of coding sessions, and I'm pretty sure I will, in the following episodes, after next week and probably next year, starting next year after holiday season, one of the two episodes per week will be devoted to coding sessions. There is quite a lot there are quite a lot of ideas to develop new games, new RL frameworks to interface, new modes. So, for example, self-play to implement, imitation learning to implement, to complete. Let's say some things are already there. So yes, it can be the case, and it can be interesting too. Okay, so that's what you just saw was AI versus human, and basically with it we completed what we wanted to show you today. So let's wrap up a little bit all we have seen in these 4 episodes, these 2 weeks. So we presented the platform, the idea, motivations behind it. We presented all 4 interfaced games, and let's just recap them pretty quickly. Dead or Alive, Dead or Alive ++, Street Fighter 3, Tekken Tag Tournament, that is more or less same thing of Tekken 3, and finally Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Now, these 4 games are here. Starting next week, I will be showing you how a reinforcement learning algorithm will play instead of the so dumb you are used to it random player. I will hopefully be showing you something that is really exciting to watch. We need to, let's say, support our RL agent to reach the final stage and hopefully to complete the game. And if you saw the random agent, if you saw how dumb it is, you know that being able to perform well is not a tricky task. And so it would be a great achievement and a demonstration that we already are at the stage in reinforcement learning in which applying these techniques is able, let's say, allows to generate something that is able to perform very well in an unknown environment, knowing nothing about it and just learning by exploration in a random way. So I believe that's it. And of course, if you have questions, additional and final questions, please, we can continue and just use the chat. Otherwise, I will make sure to send an email next week announcing that we will be using the first RL agent trained on Tuesday. Same time, 10 p.m. Italian time. And so we will be here. Everyone interested in join us, you can find every possible information on the website. So Twitch channel, YouTube channel, Instagram channel, and of course you can subscribe to the newsletter. You can write us and get in touch with the contact form. And please, when you join us during our live, follow the channel to write in chat, and we will be more than happy to answer all your questions, all questions you may have. I believe that's it for today. Let me again thank you guys, because everyone, and let's say this chat, these videos are recorded. They will be saved in YouTube, and everyone will be able to see how much value there is in what you provide with your questions. All your questions are clearly indication of how these ideas, these technologies are entering the scene, how these technologies are starting to arrive to people, and let's say conveying what's the amount of power they can provide. So thank you again, because what you say in chat is a very important part of the entire show, and please continue in this way. Hopefully we are gonna have a lot of things to share and to see together. So again, thank you very much. I wish you all a great night.